Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing? I hope you're having a fantastic week. And yes, it's midweek. That's correct. So you've probably had a million things to do by now. Well, what does that really mean? Are you maximizing, right? Maximizing all of your time to meet your career expectations. That's what I'm talking to you about, meeting your career expectations. How do you do that? Well, you first start by the realization of what exactly or what type of goals are you trying to meet? What kind of goals are you trying to exceed? Because oftentimes we fall into one of those ruts, if you will, and you have no clue of what you're really doing. What are your real goals? And you're spending so much time, doing things that you don't need to be doing, and you need to focus and organize and pivot if necessary. So, with that said, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Toye Johnson-Vincent, your no sugarcoating coach, motivational speaker, certified life coach, HR talent acquisition professional, an accredited virtual presenter for all of your virtual event needs. That's right. If you have an upcoming event and you are looking for someone to, hey, wow your audience, if you will, in any of the areas of career development, life skill journey topics, and the resilience factor. That's right. Any of those three areas and more. We're talking keynote address or just simply sitting down with your group or team and having a discussion regarding the theme of your event. So, where can you learn more about me before we get started? Go to my website, TJV Empowers You, the letter U.com. Again, TJV Empowers You, the letter U.com. So, what I wanted to really start out by saying very briefly, career expectations, that's the topic tonight. And in life, we have so many expectations that we're overwhelmed from time to time. And you want to stop being overwhelmed. I mean, that feeling of being overwhelmed, you have too much going on in your family life, your personal life, your educational life, career life. And now what? It's time for a review and you're overwhelmed. Now what? Maybe there are changes at your job or your workplace and you have to deal with those things, right? You have to, more than likely, you just have to accept the changes, organizational changes, whatever changes are going on that may affect your personal career development. So it's very important that you get on board and understand how you can take back control, if you will, of your career development so that you're not only meeting your own expectations, you're actually exceeding the expectation. And that is the key. And one of the key ingredients to meeting and or exceeding your career expectations is really to find yourself more organized. Without organization, you're basically just going from here to there, from point A to point D, without any navigation. And as you know, when you're driving, you need some sort of navigation. When you're trying to maneuver through things in life, you need some sort of navigation or some checkpoints to know that you are indeed going in the right direction. So don't, don't sleep, if you will. You really don't want to sleep on opportunities to be better at getting organized, to be better at pivoting so that you have the best results, the best outcome for your career expectations, right? Then, what you want to do, let's talk about what are the key ways or what are some of the easy steps you can take? Because if something's difficult, let's face it, you or I or anyone, we just don't bother. We're not interested. We want easy. We want easy access. We want answers right away. That's the type of society that we are in now. Everything is easy to get and so, or to obtain. And when that doesn't happen in that manner, then it becomes more frustrated. Well, what are your career expectations? Make sure you're writing things down. Go back and check out most of my videos right here. You will find that I say the same thing over and over, and I still come back to it. If you haven't written down your goals, whether they're mini goals, MINI, or they're the grand, larger goals that you might have, you will find yourself realistically just spinning your wheels. And then what will happen? Nothing. Nothing at all. So it's very important that you understand that you are important, capital YOU. So why not make the investment in capital YOU? So again, you're going to start to write down your goals, the mini goals. We're halfway through the year. It's not going to get any better. We have a pandemic going on. Although we are somewhat emerging from the initial pandemic, and now we have other news about variants and everything. So there will be a lot of changes, whether it's through the workplace, through your doctor's offices, your home life, how you maneuver throughout life in general, how you converse with your loved ones, whether you're seeing them or not. Is it all virtual? Everything that we've known before that 2020 hit us, we're doing differently, right? And that means with your career, you have to believe that you will get through that too. So just like the pandemic, we have to believe and we have to be vigilant and do our part. But we know, we will get through this as well. And on that matter, before I go any further, I just want to say that I hope that everyone who is listening to this broadcast, that you are all safe and well, including your families and loved ones. So back to career expectations. Well, let me give you an example, of a career expectation. The career expectation that I had many years ago was to, be at perhaps one or two companies, right? One company, I'll say, but really more of the second company, at least two, okay? And throwing it out there, maybe three. But the reality is, that didn't happen the way that I projected it to happen. It did not. So I have been with more than one company, more than two, and more than three in my lifetime. Now, when that happens, my career expectations may not be the same or on the same page as what actually happened and what I envisioned. And it's all about the mindset and what you envision for yourself, whether you envision for you and or your family. If you are the primary, breadwinner, the primary financial responsible one, that you are bringing in all of that money and capital and dollars and cents on a weekly, bi-weekly, monthly basis, then of course your headspace is going to look very different than someone who is not. But the fact is, you may have a lot of people relying on you. So you cannot take your career or your career path and journey just, be negligent about it. You need to have a strong foundation of how you are going to stay on track with your goals. Career expectations, another thing about it, is that they can change. As I said, initially in my early part of my career, started out in human resources as a talent acquisition professional. And basically that is from corporate recruiting, eventually, and on a full-time basis. And I thought, okay, I'm all set, right? Not correct. Now, could I have stayed in one company and then worked my way from there and decided to retire? Well, I'm still going to say probably not. And the reason why is because I don't believe everything stays the same. I believe you do have to move around when you can, if you can, to grow. Even if you're at a large company, you could be in a large company and still no one really sees your talent. You know that's not good, right? But it's very, very true that you may actually be sitting at a company right now thinking about leaving that company, even though they are indeed a large Fortune 500 company. You name it, they have all the bells and whistles and all of that. But you aren't satisfied. Why is that? Well, that's something for you to think about. That's something for you to grasp. That's something for you to start writing down with a career journal. We have journals for everything else that we write down, right? So this may be a good time to start. It's mid-year, nothing wrong with that. But again, if I looked at where I was maybe 20 years ago in my career, or maybe even the last 15, I would not have imagined that I would not have moved on further in my career. And again, for those of us who are interested in becoming an entrepreneur, having your own business, or still you're working the traditional 9 to 5, and you want to be able to have your own business as well. You can do both. Of course, you want to do that with great planning. Talk to people, coaches, and mentors, such as myself. I happen to be a life skills coach, right? Certified life coach. But the fact remains is we all are taking risks with our careers. And today is really all about career expectation. What is your expectation of capital YOU? Why haven't you been successful thus far? What have you been doing that's not so great that you can change or pivot to do something else? Well, you have to really think about that. So have a long talk with yourself, write things down, go for your mini goals, celebrate them, but just keep in mind your interest today, what you may really be interested in, or the field that you're working in. You may decide later on you have no interest at all, or you're just simply burnt out or tired of working in the same industry. So again, career expectations may be based on your collegiate background, whatever you majored in college, or you took a few courses. You didn't necessarily graduate from college. Wasn't even necessary for you. You just said, hey, I want to take a few courses so that you could step up your game. If that's what you did, fine. That is your personal choice. And then you can work around with whatever educational level that you have. And for those, if you didn't go to college, you work around whatever educational goals that you have, and you go from there. But there's something for everyone out there. This is a global world. You have to take a piece of it. You have to know where your part is in it. And you need to stop, stop neglecting your goals. Stop neglecting your career expectations. Your career is waiting on you. Just keep that in mind. So before we close, let me give you a couple of tips. On career expectations, number one, I would definitely say that you might want to speak with a career coach or even a life skills coach, such as myself. I am a certified life coach, HR, talent acquisition. I've worked as an HR talent acquisition professional for many years, on and off, both full-time and contractually, as well as a motivational speaker. Sometimes we just need motivation. Maybe you don't need a coach, you just need somebody, friends, family, or a motivational speaker to come talk to you or your group in a group setting about what exactly is happening that you're not motivated anymore about your career. That's where we start to make some mistakes. Once you lack motivation, if you don't find it quickly, it can defeat you. So we don't want to do that. Secondly, make sure you reach out to people that you can talk to about your current career status. If you are finding yourself in a situation where you are not motivated anymore, or things are getting out of hand, you're not up with the technology, you're somewhat unsure of yourself, you're second guessing yourself and your skill set, then maybe it's time for you to take another course, go back to school, consider, elevating your educational level, even if it's 1 or 2 courses at a time. And instead of the degree, the full 4-year or 2-year degree, then perhaps you want to take a course or certification style type of learning in an area or industry that you're really, really comfortable with and that you want to spend many years doing so. Last but not least, the moment you say, I can't, that will be the moment that you won't. I'll say that again for the people in the back. The moment you say you can't will be the moment that you won't. Meaning, the more you talk negative and keep those negative thoughts going regarding your career, family life, whatever life, educational career combined, it's not going to get you very far. So you really want to think about surrounding yourself with positive people, positive energy. Keep your energy level high. Keep your goals high. You don't lower your goals and don't lower your standards. Just be you, know who you are, and know where you're going. And I'm hopeful that you will pivot as well, as many of us have had to do throughout this pandemic and beyond, to a more successful career. On that note, I'm Toye Johnson-Vincent, your no sugarcoating coach, motivational speaker, certified life coach, HR talent acquisition professional, an accredited virtual presenter, and podcast host of Speak to Me First podcast show. Again, make sure you check out my podcast show, Speak to Me First podcast show. And of course, it's on Anchor FM, Spotify, Breaker, Google Podcasts, anywhere, no matter what phone, Android, iPhone, doesn't matter. You should download my podcast show. Make sure you like and share. And don't forget, as you are looking at this live video or recorded, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. I appreciate that. And tell others, like and share. I appreciate for all that takes the time to do so. So again, you want to learn more about me or invite me to speak to your audience, again, you can put that in the comments as well. Send me a message, and you can check out my website at www.tjvempowersyou.com. Again, tjvempowersyou.com. I look forward to speaking with you soon. And on that note, remember this as I end all of my broadcasts: success is in your future. Bye for now.